I'm Danny Epperson, and I'm inside the dazzling Commodore Dinner Theater in downtown Portsmouth. Thanks for joining me for WHRO's Cinema 15 and our presentation of 1952's High Noon. According to White House records, High Noon is the film most requested by American presidents. It was a favorite of Dwight Eisenhower and Ronald Reagan, and during his time in office, Bill Clinton screened it at least 20 times. So what is it about this film that appeals to the most powerful men on the planet? Well, it's simply a story about good versus evil and one man's courage to do the right thing. Directed by Fred Zinnemann and written by Carl Foreman, Gary Cooper stars as Marshal Will Kane, a lawman looking forward to his retirement and starting a new life with his Quaker bride, played by Grace Kelly. But at 10:30 in the morning, just minutes after his wedding, Kane gets news that his old nemesis, Frank Miller, is out of jail and on his way to exact revenge. Instead of running, the marshal chooses to wait for the noon train and face down the outlaws.
Don't go back, Will.
I've got to. That's the whole thing.
Nobody expected High Noon to be a hit. The film was shot in 5 weeks on a shoestring budget to fulfill a contract between producer Stanley Kramer and United Artists. None of the leading men of the time were willing to work for the meager salary the studio had budgeted. Only Gary Cooper saw it as a good role. He agreed to take the part for half his usual pay, plus a percentage of profits. Filmmakers hired newcomers like 22-year-old Grace Kelly and unknown theater actor Lloyd Bridges for low wages, and they saved money by shooting it in black and white instead of color. Once it hit theaters, High Noon instantly won over audiences, and critics revered it as a true work of art. It was nominated for 7 Academy Awards and won 4 Oscars, including Best Score and Best Actor for Gary Cooper.
In the absence of the winner, John Wayne will accept the award for Gary Cooper.
I'm going to go back and find my business manager, an agent, producer, and find out why I didn't get High Noon instead of Cooper.
I'll be back after the film to tell you about how High Noon made history and history made High Noon. But for now, saddle up to the couch, grab a sarsaparilla, and enjoy High Noon. Such a classic ending. I wonder what they talked about on that carriage ride into the sunset. You think he said, "What took you so long?" One of the reasons High Noon still holds up after almost 70 years is because it tells a straightforward story about finding courage in the face of overwhelming odds. Unfortunately for screenwriter Carl Foreman, his art became his life while writing the film. In 1951, while working on the High Noon script, he was called to testify before the House Un-American Activities Committee. The choice they gave him in testifying was clear: betray your friends or give up your career. Foreman chose to plead the Fifth Amendment and was banned by Hollywood studios. Feeling abandoned and alone as his character Will Kane, he later admitted that while he was waiting to testify, he changed the High Noon script to mirror his blacklist experience. But High Noon wouldn't be High Noon without the music. The film's Oscar-winning theme song, "Do Not Forsake Me," not only opens the movie, but comes back as an instrumental motif throughout the story. It was an innovative use of music at the time and kicked off a theme song craze in Hollywood westerns that lasted for years. High Noon's supporting cast also helped to make it a classic. There are lots of familiar faces in Hadleyville. Lee Van Cleef makes his film debut as Jack Colby. He would go on to a long career as a bad guy in spaghetti westerns like The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. Lon Chaney Jr. plays ex-Marshal Howe, but you're probably used to seeing him in makeup as the Wolfman or the Mummy. And Harry Morgan is Sam Fuller. but he'll always be Colonel Potter to me.
Cracker beans. You called me, Colonel? Horse hockey. Pardon my French.
That's all I have for this week. I'm Danny Epperson, and I will see you next time for WHRO's Cinema 15 and another classic movie. I'm Danny Epperson. Here's our classic movie quiz. 1952's High Noon stars Grace Kelly and Gary Cooper as newlyweds.
Don't go back, Will.
I've got to. That's the whole thing.
At age 51, this Western marked a comeback for Cooper. What was the age difference between the pair in real life? 30 years. You provide the popcorn, the couch, and the TV. We'll provide great movies like High Noon. Watch Cinema 15, Saturday night at 8 on WHRO TV 15.